God suffered. Jesus suffered. Jesus sacrificed himself out of love for humans. Now, understand, God redeemed us. The word redeem really has the word the word redeem has the context of payment. I paid for. I purchased. He purchased our freedom. He purchased our salvation. He purchased our life, because of the fall, death entered the world. So we would die. We would not, and through our own efforts, we could not earn salvation. He came down so that he could purchase his life, through his life, purchase our salvation. He purchased our lives through offering his life instead. So to redeem has the context of to pay for. So he paid for. He made a payment. All right. So yeah, he did suffer. And this did not mean, though, that God himself, this meant that God cared for us so much, not that God was weak. Now, understand that these people, final slide. These people that come with these different doctrines, they have the same dictionary as we do, but they have a completely different vocabulary. They mean the words in a different way. They mean the concepts in a different way. So, now, in short, these people follow their own opinions, and yet they have fundamental disagreements because they are seeing the world in a very limited fashion. Therefore, there is no authority. This is purely the authority of their imagination, their mind. And they're all cloaked in outwardly Christian language. Even when you listen to sermons from the Gnostic churches, go on YouTube and listen to Gnostic sermons, Gnostic Christian sermons, or there's the Gnostic Catholic Church, for instance. So when you can listen to these things, when you listen for a few minutes, you have no idea whether these are Catholics or Lutherans or Gnostics. It is extremely hard to tell until they say something that's obvious, but it's really difficult to tell. Sometimes you need to listen for an extended period till you can figure out whether they're Christians or Gnostics. Gnostics steal a lot from Christianity. Now, Irenaeus recognized that it was very difficult to pick out a Gnostic because the Gnostics had infiltrated many of the early dunce. Let's stick to the topic. Let's just stay here right now. So he said, look, it's very difficult to pick out the Gnostics because they've infiltrated many of the early churches. They've copied the vocabulary, right? They have a different, so they have the same dictionary of words, but they're using the words differently. So he says, lest therefore through my neglect some should be carried off, even as sheep are carried by wolves, while they perceive not the true character of these men, because they outwardly are covered with sheep's clothing, against whom the Lord has warned us to be on our guard, and because their language resembles ours, or commanded, enjoined us to command. Their language resembles ours, while their sentiments are very different. And that's again against heresies. Irenaeus against heresies. Well worth reading, well worth looking up. All right? So, same dictionary, different vocabulary, right? Different meanings. They just mean completely different things. And the final quote here is, falsehoods not only disagree with truths, but usually quarrel among themselves. So we can see that these different groups that I alluded to in the beginning, they disagree with Christian truth, with what we consider orthodox doctrine, with our dogma. But also, the same can be said not just of the Gnostics, not just of these other groups, these heretical groups, these apostates, but also the same is true to some degree of Protestant doctrines, Protestant groups. And this is something I think that we need to think about. Falsehoods not only disagree with truths, but usually quarrel among themselves. And that's by Daniel Webster. Oh, and I want to bring this to your attention. You might enjoy this. This is William Lane Craig. It's William Lane Craig Rejects the Great Apostasy. This is worth watching. It's only about 4 minutes long. It's 4 minutes long. It's him and David Wood. And of course, the claims by this very, very funny talk. I'm sure you guys, many of you have seen it. So please take a moment, if you can, to watch this. This will be educational and enlightening. So this ends my presentation. It's been an hour and a half. I hope you've learned something. I hope it's been thought-provoking. Let me just catch up on the final comments. Rose says, yeah, Lloyd, I would agree. I would say that Protestantism and Catholicism are rife with Gnosticism these days. I would argue that the church barely exists at present. I wouldn't take that negative a tone, but I would say there's definitely Gnosticism in the Protestant church. I'd say that much is clear. Luther himself seems to be very leaning towards Gnosticism, as did Calvin. And let me see. Let me see. The timing of your discussion is interesting as I've been researching this for the past several years and now you're confirming what I've been seeing. Thank you.